For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here, live from Los Angeles, and May the 5th be with you. Oh, God. Well, the writer's strike is on, as you can clearly tell. No, we don't have those unionized writers. We do have unionized writers, but not the ones that are on strike, if only, right? We're going to talk about that today, and also, people are freaking out about the Bed Bath & Beyond liquidation sale. The deals just aren't good enough for people. They're out for blood when a store is closing. The sharks are circling in the water, and that's what we're going to talk about on the show. It's 30 minutes of time-wasting fun on the Scribble, and it starts right after this.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now, it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. Oh, again, joining you live from Los Angeles. Thanks for tuning in today. But I flew into town because of the writer's strike. By now you've heard about this, right? If you watch late night, or if you're one of the few people who watch late night shows, you know that your shows are off the air this week. They're repeats. And daytime shows, I guess the talk is off, and then The View keeps kvetching about not having writers. And so for a show that's all about opinionated, strong, empowering women, you just listen to their theme song. This is for my girls all around the world. Every day the show has been on, Whoopi Goldberg, at the start of the show, basically says, we have no writers, so it's a train wreck today. You're an opinion show. It's called The View. Now, if you've ever watched the show, and I'm guessing most of you have not, that when they have guests, right, the guest generally sits in the middle of the table, and they kind of sit around them in the half circle. They know nothing about the guests that they're interviewing. And so, I've interviewed hundreds of people over, almost 20 years on the radio and in person on red carpets. I don't know. I mean, I'll have notes in front of me sometimes, but generally, as an interviewer, and there's 5 of them on the show, right? You each get like one question in a segment. Memorize the question. Instead, what they do is they hold their cards and go, oh, it's fascinating to me because, so your book is about your life as a mime and a redheaded mime, and it was just so interesting to me. That is so disingenuous. And I remember, and I'm going to get to the writer's strike in a second. I'm just going to go on a rant about The View first. Somebody get me on track, because I know that I'm going to wrap up this segment before I even talk about the writer's strike. But I remember being on a red carpet. It was Las Vegas. What was the event in Las Vegas? It was an award show, whatever. Anyway, so I was on a red. Say it again. Country music. Yeah. It was ACA, American Country Awards. It was on Fox. I don't think they air that anymore. Thank you, Bonnie. She's quick on her feet today. Woo, for a Friday morning. And there was people on the red carpet who had never done the red carpet before. Now, this was also probably, I would say about 10 or 12 years ago. So this is before the day of like bloggers and live streamers and TikTokers and, you know, this was actual like real reporters, real journalists. And so you could tell it was their first red carpet because they would have notes. And the way a red carpet works, I'm going to give you some insight here, is that you often will have publicists working the red carpet, going down the line, talk to, hey, oh, hi, I'm with so-and-so tonight. Did you want to do an interview? Hey, I'm with so, he's got a new album out. It's blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, I'm repping her. She's got a new show premiering, blah, blah. And they'll give you this little strip of paper that's got notes on it. And so a red carpet is very, very fast-paced, and I understand if you're not somebody with a big broadcast outlet, you might not have producers in your ears or you know, people holding up notes for you to read out of the corner of your eye or whatever. But there were people who were literally holding the strip of paper, and you have a new album. It's called... And you can't see me, by the way, as I'm doing this, but I'm looking down at my hand. It's just so weird because the celebrity, the person who's being interviewed, is kind of looking at this person, like staring off and like, I just thought that was such a slap in the face. Like, you don't know anything about me. And so that's how they are on The View. Somebody comes on to promote their show, their book, their movie, song, album, you know, whatever they're doing on Broadway or something. And the cast is all very chummy and laughy and so I understand that and it's even funnier when they sort of stumble through the question as well. Then there's times when the control room, the director, accidentally cuts to the camera that they're reading off the teleprompter from. So basically you've got the host looking into the camera and reading the question as though they're looking at you, the audience at home. They're talking to you through the TV while they're asking the question. And I just sit there going, you know, somebody like Joy Behar, you know, you've got 20-something years in television. You get one fucking question. Memorize your goddamn question. Because, like I said, I would just feel embarrassed because that's you saying that you know sweet fuck all about them. I don't know anything about you. So, but here's the question they gave me to ask you. So this writer's strike has hit The View very hard, and I'm kind of like, it's weird. Now, at the beginning of the show, they generally have like their little fun sort of introductions. Getting trumped. Donald Trump is da-da-da-da. So I get it that writers are putting that together. And so it's very noticeable this week because they don't have that. The show is starting out, it's May 5th and The View is live. All the hot topics, blah, 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 because there's nobody there fucking writing. But that's the thing, though. So you've got Sunny Hostin, who just put out a book this week. She is a writer, allegedly. I've read the reviews. People don't necessarily love her book. But, like, they're all capable. A bunch of them have journalism backgrounds, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yes. Joy was a teacher. Joy Behar was a teacher for many years. These people are capable of writing. Now this is where the writer strike people will go and say, but they're not the union writers, so they shouldn't be writing. They can't be writing. You know what, Bo? You can write something for yourself so that you don't look like an idiot. You've got Whoopi Goldberg blaming the writer strike and saying that we have to write our own notes on the cards. Oh, poor baby. You make how many millions a year? You're making $8, $10, $12 million a year? And you have to write your notes on your card yourself? Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. Baby. Whoopee. Go say some more racist things, stupid bitch. Okay, so... And we used to be very good friends with The View. I don't know why. Do you know why we were good friends with The View? Oh, see, it's Friday. I'm telling everybody. I'm spilling the beans today. No, we were very good friends with The View. Again, probably about 10 years or so ago, was because that was when their ratings were sucking. That was when they were going through cast members and they had, Rosie Perez and Nicole Wallace and, oh God, from The Cosby Show. Raven Simone, thank you. Oh boy. And see, I don't have writers, I just got producers talking to me. And you'd think the producers of The View would still be able to pitch hit for that. But anyway, pinch hit? Thank you. They are just working me today. You guys are feeding me lines. Pinch hit is the term, or pitch hit? Oh, yeah, I'm asking non-sports people. Okay, anyway. So The View is blaming the writer strike every day for them being clusterfucks on the train wreck of a show, more so than it usually is. But the writer strike is interesting because now with streaming services, though, this is where writing and the whole broadcast industry really is not what it used to be. And so I understand the traditional writers and people who are part of a union because they're there to stick up for you and, as they're doing, representing their rights and speaking up and taking a stand and protesting and la-da-da-da-da. But this is where it's interesting, though, because when you've changed the way the industry is kind of set up and the way it operates and the way it runs, maybe, though, you do have to kind of conform to that. Now, again, let me just stand clear on this. I came to Los Angeles to support the writers. So it's not like I'm not slamming the writers. That's not what I'm doing. I wouldn't have come here. And I've got to run out to go to the picket line. But what I'm saying, though, is like it's sort of this weird predicament where you're protesting how the industry has given you more opportunities because now there's so many writers, there's so many streaming platforms, there's so many studios, there's so many whatever. And that's great because it's given you the opportunity. But now you're going saying, well, we should be compensated and treated the way they were back in the day when there was only a few people writing, right? You only had so many opportunities. You were limited to basically television studios and movie studios. I mean, that's really all you had. You didn't have your Netflixes, you didn't have your Amazons, you didn't have your, every other streaming service. So that's where I'm kind of like, oh, this is sort of a weird situation where you're keeping up, you're benefiting from having work in the industry because there's so many opportunities, but the industry has changed so much. I mean, you could say almost the same thing like about newspaper reporters and writers. I'm a newspaper columnist. I have been for almost 20 years. And so it's kind of like, well, you have to adapt. You have to make changes. You've got to sort of tweak the way things run. You can't expect it to be business as usual when it's not, though, in every aspect of the game. So that's where I'm sort of on the fence. Now, I'm not part of the strike itself because I am new. Like your radio and your TV news programming isn't. It's not that a writer is a writer. I guess that's when I'm saying showbiz writers, that's maybe the best way to say it, right? Showbiz writers. I report on showbiz though for the news. That's where it's do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of different. So I'm a union writer, but I'm not part of the striking one. So I'm still on the air when we do our radio segments in the morning because it's just different. It's not the same. Your local radio stations, your morning show that you listen on the FM dial is not off the air. That's not the same thing. Some of them are unionized, broadcasters, media people, but it's not the same. It's different than what this strike is. So anyway, tell me what your thoughts are of The View, because that's what ate up most of the time on this segment. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore, am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today, 800-319-0582.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. Shifting gears now to the other big story in the news, well, for some people, for shoppers anyway, is the closeout, the liquidation of Bed Bath & Beyond, and people are calling it a bankruptcy sale, liquidation, closeout, clear out, whatever you want to call it. Basically, the store is closing, right, and they're selling things off. And so I wrote a book about being a cheapskate, so this is where I see it from two different sides, kind of like that writer strike thing, where I love a bargain, right? I love a deal, so I will certainly, pick through the bin, or I'll try to, double use coupons, or get an online promo code and some other kind of a discount. Like I'm that kind of a shopper. But I've also worked in retail in a store that was closing, okay? So I see this from both sides. Anyway, so the point of the story is that with the Bed Bath & Beyond closeout, people are apparently pissed off because I guess it was last week in New York, where the flagship store was closing and people were complaining, and there was a story on the news that said people were leaving the store, the news media outlets were outside and asking, did you get some good deals, and people were bitching and complaining, right? There's nothing on sale, there, everything is still the same price, and then there was a whole thing about their coupons or something, the 20% coupons, if you could use them, if you can't use them. So people were saying that they were duped at this closeout sale because you go in, you're thinking that it's going to be garage sale prices, and everything was the same. So there was a story that, the Soda Stream, which I didn't realize what that was, by the way. A PR agency for, I guess, the company had sent me one a couple of months ago. I didn't know what it was. I'd never seen it before. We don't really use our kitchen very much. And I'm a water drinker, and so I think that's apparently why I've mentioned that on the radio, not on the podcast. I mentioned on the radio a bunch of times that I really only drink water. And so then that's kind of what happens when you're in this business, is all of a sudden, you get a PR agency or something that hears that, and then they find your contact information and they send you one. See, that's what I loved about old school broadcasting, when not everybody was every YouTuber influencer wants all that free shit and now they feel entitled to it. We just got it sent to us. We didn't have to ask for it. Anyway, so the Bed Bath & Beyond thing is, it's frustrating for customers, right? Because they're, either camping out or they're going there and they've got their list of, I want to get this. They've been searching the website. Okay, this is going to be at least 40% off. This is going to be at least... But that's not really how things work, though, right? You have to realize that when they do a liquidation, they still want to get as much money out of the customer as possible. So the discounts will generally start at maybe 20% off, or 30% off this, 20% off this, 10% off this, 40% off this. And they gradually mark it up, right? They're not going in guns blazing, going 90% off everything on the first day. No, because that's, right? Especially if it's a company that's got to pay off bills, then they need as much money as they can get, right? So that's kind of how things work. And I remember, so back when I was working at Party City, now Party City in Canada was a little bit different because it was open for about a year and a half in Winnipeg, where I'm from. And then it changed names. It was then called Let's Celebrate. Somebody had bought Party City in Canada, renamed it Let's Celebrate. We were the same store, same staff, same everything. And then that iteration was only around, I don't know that it was around for even a year at that point. I think, so collectively, I believe I worked at the Party store, let's call it, for about 2 years. I was there from day one when Party City opened. I was like 21 years old. I was there from day one, and then I was there until the day it closed. Coincidentally, actually, I was just messaging back and forth with the woman I worked with at the store. Oh, and I sent her some pictures because I had a digital camera back then, and I sent her pictures going, can you believe this was over 20 years ago now? It was pictures from January of 2003. So, so I was 20 then. And anyway, so I remember, we were very sad because this is, again, back in the day when we were very close staff because we'd gone through so much. Right? We had gone through, is our store closing? Somebody bought us and saved us. Are we going to keep our jobs or are they going to hire new people? Are we going to, you go through those emotions, and we went together as a group through all of that. Because the head office isn't telling you things, right? The liquidator isn't telling you anything. The receiver, not the liquidator, that's right. The receiver, so the company that's sort of put in charge. And that really kind of made us bond. As weird as that sounds, is that we kind of bonded over, we don't know if we're going to have a job tomorrow. We don't know what's happening with the store. And then we were saved because somebody bought it. And then we've got this new lease on life. But when Party City was going under, you have that first kind of liquidation where you're clearing things out. So as a staff, you're sad, right? It's kind of emotional because you have to remember, like I said, we were there from day one. So when I say that we built the store, we literally, the first day, went into a big empty room and started putting up shelving. So we literally built, not the actual building, okay, let me be clear, I wasn't doing construction, but we literally put up the shelving. We did everything. That first Monday when we went in, it was an empty room. The floors and stuff were done, but there was no shelving, no fixtures, no counters, there was nothing. So, you have a sense of ownership at that point when you are there from day one, as all of us were. And so now this is where I go back to the bargain hunter side of things, right? Because you have the people who are going to come in, want to grab whatever like it's a Black Friday sale, they want to clear, and it comes across so heartless. Because you're sitting going, oh my God, these people are just like, they just want, and we're sitting there like looking at these going, oh, that's our favorite, I don't know, whatever, balloon, that's our favorite cake topper, that's our favorite, whatever. And the people were just out for blood, like they were just there to like loot almost and take as much as they could for cheap. And so when I read the Bed Bath & Beyond thing, like I see it from so many different angles. I see it from the business side of things. I see it from the employee side of things. I see it from the customer cheapskate side of things. And I've got mixed emotions about it. Because, these people are losing their jobs, so that's, I would say, the most important thing, right? You getting a deal versus this person potentially not having income next week or whenever they decide to close, right? I mean, that's the bigger deal if we're being serious. And so it's kind of funny to see people are bitching that the sales aren't better for this closeout. But that's what remember what I just said, though, is that, okay, so let's say it started on May 1st. It started a couple days before that, but let's say it was May 1st. They might already have it planned out that, okay, now June 1st, we're going to then up it to 40%. And then whatever's left July, I don't know how long to drag this out. I said I'm just giving an example. But, then July 1st, it'll be 75%. And it's going to be 75% when there's not very much left, because that's what's going to entice you to take the crap that nobody else wanted. My husband and I have two e-commerce businesses, and we know how to play the game like that. We know that, okay, people aren't paying full price for this one. It's not a popular item, but you know what, though? You mark it down to whatever price, like bottom of the barrel pricing, somebody's going to buy it just because it's that cheap. And that's the way customers are. I'm not saying anything about our specific customers. I'm just saying that's what it is. How many times have you gone to a store, you didn't need something, you didn't want it, but you bought it because it was cheap, or it was, it was clearance, or it was on, So that's how these sort of retail things work, is that you're going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. You're not going to get the Soda Stream for $12, not on the first day, right? I think that's where people were mistaking that this was going to be a big Black Friday sale, where it's like, you're going to get a TV. Bed Bath & Beyond doesn't sell TVs, right? There it's all just home and bath and kitchen and... Yeah. No, they don't have TV. Okay. I don't. That's why they're going out of business. I've never shopped there. Oh, thank you. But they have the candles that I like. Okay. I've never. They're talking to me. Bonnie buys the candles that I like. She buys me them from that store. Well, there you go. So I have, in a roundabout way, I've been a customer. Not my money though. So, but tell me what your thoughts are on this. Are you patient? Are you pissed off that the store that's closing and everybody is, losing out on their health benefits and pension or whatever they might have? Do you have some sort of sympathy for them? Just a little bit, maybe not at all. No. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
I do remember that. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Jeremy Bradley here. Sorry, we were just having a conversation. Now, just on that subject of not Bath and Body Works. What is it called? The one that's shutting down. Bed Bath and Beyond. I was just talking about how in Los Angeles I have these memories of my very first few times to the city. One time I was on a work trip. But I came here twice just as like a visitor. And I have these memories because we've got candle holders on the wall in our living room. Is it sconces? I ended up buying them at Target in Los Angeles. And so do you have things like that in your house where you're kind of like, I have fond memories of, I've got a ton of crap in my house, but I don't necessarily remember like where I got something or when. But these candle holders, for some reason, that I got at Target just after I bought my house 15 years ago, I remember them. I don't know why. I just have it. I've got, and when I think back into my office, like in my house, I've got things on my desk or on the wall. I don't remember where I got them from. Like the printer. I'm like, did I order that online? Did I get it from a store? I have no idea. But the wall candle holders, I know where they came from. And, I just have memories like that. And then speaking of candles, because Bonnie, our executive producer, reminded me that there was a restaurant here. Well, it was a restaurant. It's hard to explain. It was called the French Market, and it was in the middle of the building was the restaurant, and it was sort of done up like in France, a patio or outdoor dining. And then around the seating area of the restaurant were little shops. So it was a market. It was a restaurant in a market or a market in a restaurant? It would be, I guess, you'd have a market around the outside and then a restaurant in the middle. And there's a company, I don't know if it's still around, a brand of candles called Illume. And they had Valencia Orange, I believe was the name of the candle. And I just loved that. And this was, again, before the days of like online shopping with everything. But I remember the next time that I went there, trying to find... I remembered the exact store because when you went in, it was immediately to the left. So when I went there, I was like, "Oh, do you have Illume candles?" And it was a different store. I didn't remember the name of the store. I just remembered where it was in the building. And so I went there and I was like, I don't know if they would even have candles. Like it was a completely different, shop at that point. It was a few years later. And then now it's kind of sad because the French Market closed a few years back. And so I remember being in the hotel that I was staying at and walking down Santa Monica Boulevard. And it was just kind of there. Like it was just a nice kind of ambiance when you walked by the outside and then when you go in. And somebody from the area had taken me there the first time. I didn't know about it. It was just, I didn't know where we were going. I was told the French Market. And so you kind of think, is that a grocery store? Is that a market, like a flea market? Is it going to be, And it was really nice. It was little shops all around. And then, but yeah, the tables had like the checkered, it was almost like you were in Italy, I guess, too. Italy or France, somewhere. So it was very European kind of a vibe. And yeah, it was kind of fun. So, but do you have things like that in your home that you either one of two things? You either look at it and go, where the hell did I get that from? Where did that come? Did somebody give that to me? I would never have bought that for myself. Or do you have just fond memories going, I remember exactly buying that piece of artwork or that thing on the table in the corner or I have a little lighthouse kind of a thing. I'm pretty sure I got it when I was in like Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, somewhere in, Eastern Canada. I can't for the life of me remember, did I get it on, did somebody give it to me? Was it a gift? Did I buy it? Why would I have bought this? It's just so like random. So I have little things like that. So anyway, send me an email, live@jbonair.com. One more break and then we're done. All right, we're back right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. SpeakFreeWithJB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. Feel free to give me a shout anytime. It's always awesome hearing from you. The email address, live@jbonair.com. Live@jbonair.com. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a Speak Free media presentation.
If you want some